A significant problem with leaving chat comments in people's live streams is an inability to really properly explain your position because of the limitations of how, much you're allowed to say in any particular block of text. And of course, when people are trying to, do a live stream and they're looking at a bunch of stuff and you kind of lose track of, where certain comments fall in certain conversations because you're looking at things on a kind of a delayed loop and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, several days ago, I was happened to be watching one of the Heroes Unlimited episodes from Legion of Myth, and then pop in. It had already been on a while, and so like they're talking about Venture Satanis and his whole abortion episode adventure that he wrote, and all the controversy that came with that. Anyway, though, like there's at one point, like I can't even remember exactly what the framing was that led to the comment, but I had made a statement I've made before here on my own channel that I think in a subtle way, Ninjas and Super Spies is actually Palladium's best game. Now, how do we define best? Right up, in most cases, calling something the best of anything is very subjective and based upon what your personal tastes, whims, and inclinations are. Ninjas and Super Spies does not have a particularly fancy, world concept. Not everyone's going to be into espionage and martial arts and all that kind of stuff. But I do believe there are a few quantifiable reasons why, in terms of the context of the game system that Ninja Super Spies is a part of and the overall umbrella of books that it's related to, that you can actually say, in a non-subjective fashion, that Ninja and Super Spies is the optimal expression of the Palladium rule system. Right off the bat, because it is focused as much as it is on martial arts, while also bringing in, modern combat type stuff because of the presence of the modern day super spy character concepts and all their kinds of equipment. It gives you, like the optimized use of Palladium's, at times, admittedly, a little convoluted combat system. I've heard, complaint that, like in aggregate, there's not a whole lot to really distinguish the martial arts from each other. That may fail somewhat on the part of the players for not, describing their characters or designing their characters in a way that like makes their martial arts the focal point of their design concept. Also, like depending on exactly what kind of campaign you're designing around Ninjas and Super Spies, like not necessarily every last martial art in the book needs to be made available. You have something set in medieval Japan, you're gonna like hang more into your Japanese style martial arts. You got kind of like a modern, like Chinatown, Big Trouble in Little China kind of thing going on. Obviously you'll lean into a different, array of the more mystically inclined, martial arts like your snake style kung fu and that kind of stuff. But, like, as I say, the rules actuate Palladium's particular combat system well. It makes full use of all the stuff. The strikes, the parries, the roll with punches, all the various kinds of hand-to-hand attacks you might be able to learn. While at the same time, as I said, there's also all the gunplay and mini missiles and car chases and all the other stuff that allows you to use, Palladium's other side of their combat system. It doesn't clutter things up by introducing psionics or magic into the setting, albeit it is open enough that it actually combines real easily, not only with Heroes Unlimited, obviously, but you can also pair it up with something like Beyond the Supernatural, or if you want to recreate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness without having to go back and find a used copy of it that's 30, 40 years old at this point, you can get a copy of After the Bomb and a copy of Ninjas and Super Spies and cobble it together yourself. The game is wonderfully compact, self-contained, being that, the premise is, spy versus spy kind of stuff. It doesn't really need like a huge bestiary or anything like that. The OCCs are all the OCCs that you will need for both players and player characters. And NPCs, to be able to pull off all sorts of variety of things. I feel like in terms of your campaign design and adventure design, you should, as the game master, design an agency for the players to belong to when they start off. possibly also set up some sort of rival agency or whatever it is that you want to use as the villain. It does require a little bit more work for you to come up with exactly what it is that you want your players to be doing and who they're going to be going up against. It doesn't come preloaded with a bunch of pre-made villainous organizations and villains like you find in Villains Unlimited for Heroes Unlimited and stuff like that. But, you know, like I said, it best maximizes Palladium's rule system, even down to the fact that the OCCs are a nice hybrid between the original first edition style of, you know, scholastic skill packages and also, though, the later Palladium rules around OCCs. If it, you know, to me, I think its major drawback is possibly the fact that the one source book that it has, Mystic China, has OCCs in that aren't designed with the same kind of design principle that the original OCCs in the main rulebook are, but it doesn't mean that they're, you know, like incompatible with each other either. It's just if someone wants to play something out of the Mystic China book, they're not going to be building their character in quite the same way as people making characters from the main book are. But, you know, even ignoring that, like, it's just one of those nice, rare games nowadays where you can pretty much find the entire thing just in the pages of the one rule book. You can pull resources from all other sorts of Palladium books. It's a wonderful modular book that you can attach onto other things. You can use it in Nightbane. You can use it in Rifts. You can, like, any environment where you might want to have a little bit of spy tech equipment and someone who's, you know, spent their entire life honing their body to be a living weapon and all that kind of stuff through the arts of ancient mystical training. Ninjas and Super Spies provides that. So, you know, like I said, in terms of just like the context of the game system it's a part of, I don't really think that there's really any other game that Palladium has put out that is, you know, quite as modular. And also, yeah, as I say, it leans so far into actually like making all those combat rules fun, you know, especially with the hand-to-hand stuff. If you're having trouble coming up with things to do with it, or if your players are having trouble, like, really, you know, bringing some sort of flair to their character's design that, like, really kind of, you know, makes the martial arts they chose to base their character around really, like, you know, stand out and pop, you know, that could be an indication that maybe an espionage martial arts game just might not be the thing for you and your players, but that in and of itself is not a judgment on the quality of the game. So, I guess, yeah, there's my defense of my statement of why Ninjas and Super Spies is asterisk Palladium's best role-playing game. Until next time, words and things and such.